Learning from failure is the fastest path to success. In the world of SAP implementations, even well funded, well staffed projects can go sideways when hidden risks collide with human factors and technical complexities. Today, I'll share 7 real world SAP project failures, warts and all, and more importantly, actionable strategies you can adopt right now to prevent the same mistakes in your own engagements. Think of this as a war stories masterclass. You'll gain detailed checklists, templates, and best practices you can customize for your next SAP rollout or upgrade. Let's begin. Failure 1. Scope creep chaos. Many SAP projects start with grand ambitions and clear goals, only to see those goals shift under pressure from stakeholders. Scope creep occurs when new requirements, often justified as minor enhancements, creep into the project without formal approval or impact analysis. Uncontrolled scope changes can derail budgets, delay go-live dates, and erode team morale. Case study: a global automotive manufacturer contracted a 9-month S/4HANA rollout covering 6 modules. Finance FI controlling CO, Materials Management Sales and Distribution SD, Production Planning PP, and Human Resources HR. Of the first 2 months, the scope document was signed off by all stakeholders. Then, in quick succession, the procurement team requested a custom bidding approval enhancement for The finance division asked for a new cash flow reporting dashboard in FI. IT demanded integration with a third-party warehouse system that was slated for Phase 2. Each request seemed trivial on its own, but no change control board was in place. The project manager logged enhancements informally and prioritized them on the fly. Within 6 weeks, the original 6 modules had ballooned to 15, the timeline extended by 3 months, and the budget overrun exceeded 40%. Root causes: lack of formal change management, no standardized process for submitting, assessing, and approving change requests, weak steering committee, stakeholders met only quarterly, urgent decisions piled up, static scope document. The scope document was never updated or recirculated after initial sign-off, so the project team worked from outdated plans. Consequences: go live delayed by 3 months, costing the company millions in lost efficiency. Morale drop among consultants and client team, project fatigue. Eroded trust, executive sponsors questioned project governance. Prevention strategies: implement a structured change request process template. Create a simple change request form with fields for description, business justification, estimated effort, estimated cost, and risk assessment. Impact: analysis. Before accepting any change, conduct a mini project assessment, technical feasibility, resource availability, timeline impact. Approval workflow requires sign-off from both business and IT sponsors. Establish a weekly steering committee. Cadence agenda: review outstanding changes, blockers, and decisions needed. Attendees: project sponsor, program manager, key module leads. Outputs: clear minutes, action items, and updated scope register. Maintain a living scope document. Host the scope document in a shared version-controlled repository, e.g. SharePoint, Confluence. After each change request decision, update the document and notify all team members automatically. Assign an owner responsible for scope coherence. Enforce a fit-to-standard mindset. Encourage stakeholders to first explore SAP standard functionality before requesting custom development. Organize regular fit-to-standard workshops where functional teams demo existing SAP capabilities. Failure 2. Data migration disaster. Migrating from legacy systems to S4 HANA or ECC often involves millions of records. A single malformed field can cascade into financial reconciliation failures, production stoppages, or compliance breaches. Case study: a mid-sized retailer attempted to load 3 years of legacy ERP data, master data, open items, and historical transactions into a new SAP S4 HANA environment. The data migration team used a handful of simple Excel samples to validate mapping logic. At Go Live, finance discovered that 7% of general ledger postings had date format mismatches, costing 2 weeks of frantic hotfixes and rollback scripts. Root causes: insufficient data profiling, no comprehensive analysis of data quality, anomalies, or orphaned records. Limited testing scope, reliance on small, manually curated samples rather than full dataset runs. No reconciliation scripts, absence of automated cross-checks between legacy and SAP balances. Consequences: finance could not close the month end. Reconciliation failed. Production orders backlogged because material master inconsistencies broke MRP runs. Emergency rollback to legacy ERP while cleanup occurred. 2 weeks of lost productivity. Prevention strategies: full-scale data profiling and cleansing. Use profiling tools, e.g. SAP Data Services Open Refine, to scan the entire dataset for blanks, invalid dates, duplicates, and orphaned references. Document data quality metrics, completeness, validity, consistency before migration. Parallel migration runs. Conduct at least 3 full migration runs from beginning to end in a test environment. For each run, generate reconciliation reports, total debit versus credit, open items count, and sample record spot checks. Automate reconciliation with simple SQL or ABAP scripts to flag mismatches. Develop a rollback playbook. For each migration step, master data, open items, historical data, define a rollback procedure, table truncation, archive restoration, and data reload instructions. Test rollback steps in the test system to ensure they work under pressure. Staged cut-over approach. Migrate master data first, allow users to validate. Migrate open items next, run mock month end. Finally, historical data, if required for reporting, in a separate read-only archive. Failure 3, customization. Overload SAP's power lies in configuration, not customization. However, when clients equate tailored process with custom code, they risk creating unmanageable technical debt. Case study: an energy company required specialized approval workflows throughout their purchasing cycle. Instead of leveraging SAP Business Workflow or BRF Plus rules, the team built 450 Z programs, Z reports, and Z tables. When the system upgrade to the latest enhancement package arrived, 75% of custom code broke, requiring a 4-month remediation project with 20 developers. Root causes: ignoring standard functions. The team assumed any non-standard requirement mandated custom development. Lack of code governance. No central review board to vet or reject customizations. No code quality tools. Custom objects accumulated unchecked without static analysis. Consequences: upgrade postponed by 4 months. Project costs doubled. System stability issues: each support package introduced new breakages. Consultants and developers burned out refactoring legacy Z objects. Prevention strategies: customization governance board. Form a cross-functional board including technical architects, functional leads, and QA. All change requests for custom code must be approved by the board, with clear rejection or remediation guidance. 80/20 standard versus custom. Policy. Define a policy. At least 80% of requirements must be met using SAP standard configuration. Only 20% can be custom code. Review each requirement against SAP Best Practices Library before coding. Static code. Quality gates. Integrate tools like SAP Code Inspector or Sonar QB into the CI/CD pipeline. Failing key metrics, complexity, naming conventions, missing comments, automatically blocks transports. Periodic code health audits. Schedule quarterly tech debt audits to identify outdated, unused, or high-risk Z objects. Retire or refactor legacy custom code proactively. Failure 4. Incomplete user training. Even the most technically sound SAP project can fail if end users aren't properly trained. A half-hearted e-learning module won't drive adoption or reduce support tickets. Case study. An international pharmaceutical firm rolled out SAP across 5 factories. They purchased a generic e-learning package and expected users to complete it independently. Only 12% of 1,500 invited users finished the modules, and they retained less than 30% of critical navigation steps. In the first production month, support tickets tripled and key processes stalled, costing the company 3 months of business disruption. Root causes: generic content. One-size-fits-all modules that ignored specific roles, e.g., warehouse clerk versus finance manager. Lack of hands-on labs. No sandbox practice environment. Users never touched real transactional screens. No power user network. No designated champions to assist local teams. Consequences: 3 times support ticket volume. Overwhelming IT service desk. Critical processes: goods receipts, invoice postings, backlogged. Decline in user confidence. Some business units temporarily reverted to manual processes. Prevention strategies: role-based training curriculum. Map key user roles, e.g., accounts payable, inventory clerk, production planner. Develop tailored training modules, job-specific transactions, reports, and common error scenarios. Interactive hands-on workshops. Host instructor-led, scenario-based lab sessions in a sandbox environment. Limit class size to 10 to 15 users to ensure individual attention. Provide cheat sheets and step-by-step job aids. Power User Champion Program. Identify 2 to 3 super users per site. Train them extensively. Equip champions with advanced troubleshooting guides and direct escalation paths. Offer incentives for timely support and knowledge sharing. Adoption metrics and feedback loops. Track completion rates, quiz scores, and ticket volumes by role. Conduct quick pulse surveys, 1 week and 1 month post-go-live. Iterate on training materials based on feedback. Failure 5. Weak project governance. Strong governance aligns stakeholders, expedites decisions, and enforces accountability. Without it, risks fester, and small blockers become crippling roadblocks. Case study. A financial services provider set up a steering committee that met once every quarter. Critical issues, interface failures, budget disputes, resource conflicts waited up to 10 weeks for formal decisions. As a result, milestone dates slipped, budgets bled, and sponsor confidence plummeted. Root causes undefined. RACI matrix, ambiguity over who owns which decisions. Infrequent governance cadence. Long gaps between meetings allowed unresolved issues to accumulate. No escalation path. Blockers had no clear route to senior leadership. Consequences: milestones missed by an average of 15%. Sponsors withdrew participation. Some clients refused to attend subsequent meetings. Project extension requests tripled anticipated costs. Prevention strategies. Clear, racy chart. Document all major decision areas, scope, budget, timeline, technical architecture. Assign responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed roles for each. Weekly governance stand-ups. 30-minute virtual meetings dedicated strictly to blockers and decisions. Use a shared Kanban board to track issue status. New, in progress, escalated, resolved. Escalation workflow. For critical issues, define an escalation path. Functional lead, project sponsor, executive steering committee. Use collaboration tools, Slack, MS Teams, to tag business and IT sponsors immediately. Governance dashboard. Build a simple dashboard showing open issues, risk heat map, budget burn rate, and milestone progress. Share dashboard with all stakeholders at a fixed cadence. Failure 6. Underestimating integration. Complexity SAP rarely stands alone. Integrating with legacy systems, third-party logistics platforms, or custom middleware can multiply complexity and risk. Case study: a consumer goods company planned to integrate S/4HANA with 3 separate legacy order management systems and a homegrown warehouse control system. Rather than proof of concept, POC each interface, the team jumped straight to full development. In production, interfaces intermittently failed under peak load, blocking order fulfillment and triggering a series of emergency hotfixes over several weeks. Root causes. No early POCs, lacked small-scale prototypes to validate data flow, performance, and error handling. Under-resourced integration team. Only one middleware specialist assigned to all interfaces. Insufficient monitoring. No real-time alerts or dashboards to detect interface failures quickly. Consequences. Multiple hotfix deployments post-go-live. Some fixes introduced new bugs. Order backlog soared to 48 hours, harming customer satisfaction. Project team diverted 30% of capacity to firefighting. Prevention strategies. Early, incremental POCs. For each integration scenario, build a lightweight prototype handling minimal data. Validate connectivity, data mapping, and throughput under simulated loads. Dedicated integration squad staff at least 2 middleware engineers per major interface. Assign 1 business analyst per integration to clarify requirements. Interface design workshops. Conduct joint workshops with source system owners to define error handling, retry logic, and data reconciliation. Document integration flows using sequence diagrams. Robust monitoring and alerting deploy real-time monitoring. Error dashboards. Automated email, SMS alerts for failures. Include SLA tracking. Interface uptime and mean time to repair, MTTR. Failure 7. Overlooking change management. Introducing a new ERP is as much about human change as technology. Without a structured change management plan, users resist, revert to old systems, or undermine project success. Case study: a healthcare provider spent 2 years customizing and configuring SAP, then announced a go-live date without any communication plan. On day 1, dozens of nurses, lab technicians, and administrative staff refused to use the new system and reverted to legacy spreadsheets. The project team lost 3 months of ROI while running dual environments and attempting to convince reluctant users. Root causes. No why change. Narrative. Users never understood the business rationale, benefits, or personal impact. Lack of executive sponsorship. Senior leaders did not publicly champion the project. Failure to identify change agents. No local champions to reinforce new behaviors. Consequences. Dual system operation for 3 months, doubling operational costs. Morale slump. Users felt forced rather than empowered. Shadow IT initiatives surfaced. Local teams built unofficial workarounds. Prevention strategies. Comprehensive change management plan. Communication streams. Weekly newsletters, town halls, and intranet updates explaining progress, benefits, and success stories. Storytelling, share early wins. In OEG, pharmacy department reduced order fulfillment time by 20% thanks to SAP. Dedicated change manager, appoint a specialist responsible for stakeholder engagement, readiness assessments, and feedback loops. Visible executive sponsorship, obtain recorded messages or participation from C-level leaders at kickoff, milestone celebrations, and go-live countdown. Highlight executive involvement in project collateral and presentations. Deploy change agents network, recruit 2 to 3 informal leaders per department. Train agents extensively, equip them with talking points, demonstration scripts, and escalation paths. Recognize and reward agents for driving adoption. Readiness assessments and adoption metrics conduct, bi-weekly pulse surveys on user sentiment, confidence, and training satisfaction. Track adoption KPIs, login rates, transaction volumes, support ticket reduction. Address low adoption pockets with targeted workshops. Conclusion: by studying these 7 failure stories, scope creep, disastrous data migration, customization overload, incomplete training, weak governance, underestimated integration, and overlooked change management, you now have a toolbox of preventive measures. Formalize change request governance to keep scope on track. Profile and reconcile your data thoroughly before migration. Govern custom code with strict policies and code quality tools. Invest in role-based, hands-on training and power user networks. Stand up rigorous governance with clear RACI and escalation. Prototype and staff integrations properly with robust monitoring. Design a comprehensive change management program with executive champions and change agents. Implement these best practices, and you'll significantly reduce risk, accelerate delivery, and boost stakeholder confidence. Thanks for watching. If you found these lessons valuable, please like, subscribe, and click the bell. Don't forget to download your free SAP project toolkit on Gumroad, link below, to jumpstart your next implementation. See you in the next deep dive on SAP Academy.